All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, February 3rd. NASDAQ trading up near the prior day high this morning. Okay. All right. We do have some 10 a.m. data. We have jolts at 10 a.m. So NQ kind of in a tricky spot right here. Yesterday's massive rally showed a continuation during that overnight session right up into the 26K by 2650 area of resistance. We talked about that zone during yesterday's sesh. What I really want to see for this morning is how price is going to be responding pretty much to this overnight structure. That should depending on how price kind of trades out of this structure, that should kind of give us the direction for the morning, the direction for the day. So that's the focus. 25,900 by about 26K, a little 100 point tight range through there. If buyers continue yesterday's momentum up above this area right through here, last week's value area high 2650, really opens up quite a bit. You can trade up into 300, up into last week's high. Some ideas I would consider today: potential longs versus 900 if the setup is there, and potentially some longs versus the overnight low. I believe the prior day close is right in that area as well. Yeah, overnight low right there at 866 with prior day volume point of control right through there. So let's see. Here's the open already into 900. And let's get our session profile set up. There it is. Yesterday, very slow day. Yesterday, I had a couple of trades in ES. That was about it. That was about it. Good volume right off the open. It's one thing I'm keeping a close eye on today as well. That volume yesterday, volume was just terrible yesterday. Below average all day long. The exception of you had a little kind of splash right there at 3 p.m. So far, price rejecting that prior day high. 5-minute RTH right there for you. Very small overnight gap has now been filled. And let's see how price responds to this 900 right here. We're going to go all the way for the overnight low. Looks like it. Not that much farther. 866 overnight low right there. Okay, there's overnight low. Prior day volume point of control. Pretty much no bid so far. Bid be gone. You do got prior day value area low, just a bit lower. Not somewhere I want to set risk against this morning with the overnight low gone now. And here's that structure we just talked about 5 minutes ago, breaking to the downside. Is that the spring? Let's see if that can show some follow through. That may be the spring. Volume already below average here. Already? Ah. So watching the action right here at overnight low 866. Volume a little light for my liking. So far, just rolling over a little lower high. We do have jolts at 10 a.m. So we do have some data at 10. D-Wall watching 850, 875. Yeah, that's right here. NQ fresh low. New low of day being made. That was worth a shot right there. Take the stop. On to the next. You have ES coming in overnight low as well. So my next downside level is down near 700, quite a bit lower. Pratik took a scratch right there. That was a good attempt. Valid attempt. Kind of where we're at. 26K rejecting. Talked about this little structure here from the overnight sesh. Now breaking down. I'll be watching prior day low as well as the 700 area right through here. Volume still below average. ES with the night. See, that's what you want to see for the spring right there. A little undercut. Overnight low. Nice follow through. That's what you like to see right there for the spring idea. No position, personally. NASDAQ fresh lows. Here we go. Here's some volume coming in. Price into 800. What's up, Dave? Good morning. Wow, really opened up right there. Look at that. 800 to 720 in 30 seconds. That's a 80.30-second candle. Make sure you are checking your risk points. We got good volume coming in right now. Yeah, let's take a look at yesterday's fib retrace. So a little more than 50% of yesterday's move has already been retraced in the first 15 minutes of the morning. No sound. It's looking good on my end. Good sound. All right. Good stuff. Almost there. Almost there into 700. Be watching that area. Opening 15-minute bar, quite bearish. Dom, level to level, yes, sir. I saw those two trades you just posted in the think tank, Dom. Those are looking good, man. Nice work. Nice work. Nice work. It's about the highest volume of the sesh a couple minutes ago, tied with the open. Was that a little news blip that we had? Let's see. We do have Feds barking speaking right now. So we got some Fed speak ongoing. NASDAQ back into 800. So notice how that candle with the most volume of the session kind of marked the local low right there. It was a good clue. It's a shame we didn't have a better level. That would have been a decent long attempt. Des playing golf? Not right now, man. Not right now. This market's moving. Session volume point of control shifts lower, 25,800. So that may have been close enough to the 700 level there. 100-point bounce off the low. Man, don't forget jolts in 12 minutes. Kind of interesting to see prices yet to leave Thursday's range. Let's take a look at that fib from Thursday. Notice how the 61% fib from Thursday is keeping a lid on price. Pretty interesting. Fib sell zone being respected. Dean, no jolts today due to the partial shutdown. That's good info. And so far, there's a lower high right at the psychological level with volume point of control right through there. Let's see if a fresh low is going to be made ahead of 10. Volume kind of tapered back down. Not much I can do here given current location, so staying patient. I've had one attempt so far at the overnight low. The spring setup, which failed. And NASDAQ getting back into session lows. See if a new low is going to be made. And then we'll be watching the response in this area. Higher time frame pivot right through there. Look at this 30-minute bar. Man. So like we talked about at the start, once this structure breaks, you're going to get a nice directional move. Here we are getting into that next zone into 10 a.m. Still 5 minutes till 10. Apparently no jolts today due to the partial shutdown. But that is what was on the schedule for 10 a.m. And here's 700. Gabe riding short. Nice. Heck yeah. Good volume coming in. Let's see where that lower high formed. Yeah, right there at the 38. Nice. Little shallow fib for you. Psychological level, point of control. Good re-entry if you missed the initial push lower. Good lower high entry right there. And NQ just pressing the lows. 2.5 minutes till 10. What a move. Pretty big move off the open there. Let's see. We're talking about 300 points off the open, a little more than 300 points off the open. And almost all of yesterday's move, almost all of yesterday's rally has been retraced here. Coming into that 78% retracement. Looking at yesterday's rally. Wow. Benny locked it in. Nice work. Gabe still trailing. Nice work, man. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Good volume coming in now. So we'll see what this 10 a.m. looks like. Benny, let's see those executions. Wow, nice. From 856, nice entry. Yeah, what a morning. What a morning. Gabe, let's see it. Nice, Gabe. Wow. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, here's 10 a.m. So I keep an eye on the 5 minute now, see if there's any signs of a reversal. So far, it looks like no. Price is down through that 700 pivot. Bigger volume coming in. Any longs from yesterday officially starting to sweat. And we're almost into that prior day low. Be kind of the next zone to watch here. Oh, you added into it, Gabe? Nice. Yeah, I couldn't tell that from your execution there. Good stuff. NQ 25,600. Big directional move off the open. Personally, I got to stay patient here. If I'm looking for longs, I got to stay patient. Dave, always want to count on a copy that's different by 400. Are you using the built-in Tradovate copier, or what's your setup for that? Or Tradecopia or something like that? NASDAQ just shy of prior day low, 539. A little bit of a bounce. See how the 5 minute closes down. Do we get a hammer? We get a 5 minute hammer here. Good to see the zone responding positively. Buyers stepping in versus the zone. Personally, would not try and nail the low right here unless the prior day low is undercut. Give you the prior day low spring setup. So we'll see if we get some sort of second entry. Personally, not in the business of trying to pick the low with such a powerful move like that. It's a recipe for losses. Recipe for losses. Five-minute, not quite the hammer I'd want to see, but getting closer in shape, right? Might be suggesting that momentum starting to slow a little bit as price gets into this support zone through here. There you go, just rolls over. And right back into session lows. 25,580, 25,570. Let's see that new low of day. And then let's see how prior day low is going to be treated here. PDL. There's your fresh low. Prior day low is 540. You got the weekly open right through there, weekly and monthly open. A failure at prior day low, you're looking at 360 next level and then down into 200. Just kind of looking ahead. If that selling momentum continues. Check out some of the higher time frames. 2 hour, 4 hour, daily. Okay. Largely still in the middle of the structure there, that daily. That daily chart. Good volume. No sweep of that prior day low just yet. Anyone still riding that short, or did everyone trail? Check out that 5 minute. 5 minute doji. Another clue that selling momentum is slowing just a bit here. Mike trailed to the tick, man. I know what that is like. It happens. It happens, my friend. Main thing is after that happens, make sure you're not chasing. Make sure you're not trying to revenge trade, right? So just kind of watching this little intraday structure develop here. Price can kind of start to reclaim, maybe show a little intraday change of character. Looking at that, and or a sweeper, prior day low sweeper. Till then, just staying patient. I said we've only tried the overnight low spring setup. That failed. I said 0 for 1 this morning. Just got to flex that patience muscle now. Okay, so regular trading hours volume point of control shifted down here, 595. So do we start to see a little bit of a structure kind of build out here? Or is this thing going to flush? See what ES is doing. ES pretty much mirroring NASDAQ this morning. Let me check Russell RTY. Session lows for RTY. Let's see YM. YM not session lows. So a little strength there on YM. And NQ, there's your new low. Let's see. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Do we get the spring again? I would want to see more volume. Ideally. Ideal scenario. So far, no spring. That's the weekly open, Sunday night open, which also happens to be the monthly open. Right there, the current low. fairly muted response in this area so far. A break of 560 might do it. We'll see. All right, Gabe. Nice work today, man. Well done. Well done. That was killer. What time is it? Fresh 15-minute bar just opened up. Okay. It's not bad. Can price break the point of control now and then show an intraday change of character? Little break above. What is this? 610? So far, that's just a little retest. Retest into point of control. RTH, regular trading hours point of control, and a rejection. Volume definitely not helping. I want to see like 2, 3 XR vol right there. But the main level to watch right here is still a prior day low. Can buyers still defend this prior day low? If not, like I said, next downside level is last week's low down in the 365 area. And your next 30-minute bar opening in 10 mins. Volume just falls off. Same with ES. Let's see, intraday fib retrace. Shallow fib is up at 630. Another test of 600. Five-minute is attempting to push through prior bar high. Is that the first time all sesh? Yeah, so first look above prior bar high on the 5-minute all session. So location is pretty good, right? We'll see what kind of follow through this thing has. Usually I like a more explosive move from a prior day low spring, but price doesn't always do exactly what you want it to. And that is part of the game. So knocked right back down there at volume point of control. See that? Sellers trying to reload. So see if this ends up being a scratch here. Down at 520. Scratch trade. Looks like it. We'll take it though. I'll take that attempt 10 out of 10 times. That's gonna have long-term edge. Same with that overnight low. Back into prior day low here. And almost a fresh low. There we go, fresh low. There's the stop on the rest of that trade, so that ends up being a scratch. So full loss on the first trade, and then scratch on the second trade. See what happens from here. Prior day low gone. You have last week's low. It's the next main level that I would be looking at. Personally, would not set risk against that level. That would be more of like a reference point for shorts to target. I do like this area down here for setting risk, excuse me, or higher time frame reversal. So show me like a 30-minute reversal signal, and then I'll look to trade on the backside of that, or on the right side of that, rather, right side of the V. NASDAQ 25, 480. D-Wall gap filled Sunday, Monday. Sunday, Monday. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Not sure on that one, D-Wall. There's the volume coming in with the break prior day low. $15 and 30-minute close in 3 minutes. So that big 15-minute currently shows a doji. And with price right near prior day low again, keeping an eye on that prior day low. See how this intraday structure continues to build. So far, downtrend. No change of character until price trades above and holds above 605 would be the spot to watch. Do all the gap was filled on January 2022. I'm not following at all, D-Wall. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I have no idea. Leave it? All right, all right, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Post a chart in the think tank if I'm missing something. That way I can see it. See it with my eyes. See it with my own 2 eyes. How's everyone's morning? How we doing? How are we doing? If you're trying longs with me, you're probably red. If you nailed some shorts, I can't imagine you lost any money if you hit us any shorts today. Pratik, one scratch, small red. Josh, small red. Yeah, right there with you guys. Phil, basically break even on 3 longs. Nice. That's actually a good sign. Good management, man. Props to you, Phil. Two for three, 2 shorts, 1 long. Solid. Mike break even. So volume point of control shifts a little lower now into 550. So shifting a tiny bit lower as we get into this next 30-minute bar. Fatigue February not having a good start. We're only 3 days in. It's all good. Sam Green Day, nice work. Nicole Green on ES short, well done. All right, there's that next 30-minute candle opening up. 15 minutes shows a doji, so that's some indecision, right? And price currently just barely above that prior day low. Des 0 for 1, all good. Volume kind of tapering down. ES intraday structure, pretty much just like I said earlier, mirroring NASDAQ here. D-Wall Green with a 40% win rate. That is great trade management right there, man. Great risk management. Well done. Oh, D-Wall, I see that chart you sent. QQQ. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what was throwing me off. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah, from a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that's the part I was missing. I thought you meant this most recent Monday. It's like, man, I don't see any gap there. So price starting to trade a little bit more sideways here in this key area. We want to keep an eye on prior day low. Little structures kind of building out. But for a change of character, still need, what did we say? 605. Yeah, 605, 606. Man, a rejection there coming back into session lows. Do you often see a gap during regular trading hours, so you align it with QQQ? Not making any decisions on that, just for observation purposes? Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Nasdaq back in a 500. See if the lows get taken out. Like we've been saying, beneath the lows, beneath the session lows there. If you're riding any shorts, target last week's low down into 360. 30 minutes. So far, not showing any signs of slowing down. Fresh low was not made. Back into the weekly open, weekly, monthly open. So I would really love to see price kind of clear this area, come back and retest. That would present a nice long setup. Okay, back in a prior day low. So let's see if this actually materializes here. Hopefully within the next 20 or so minutes. Be ideal. Okay, getting more interesting. Volume's just a killer right now. Average I can work with. Below average is like, eh. So NQ bumping into that volume point of control again. 550 is where that currently sits. 25, 550. Little rejection right there. Again, I'm kind of looking for something like this, then come and retest this zone. Basically, a change of character, then retest that key area with an entry. Kind of see NQ curl up would be the idea, curl higher. What are we talking about as far as fib retracements? So the shallow is right there at 584. Okay. Fatigue 568 is prior week value area low. I'm watching. Let's see. Showing 610 on that. Maybe on the hourly. Still right there, 610-ish. What time frame you on for the profile? Oh, on the 1 minute. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Nasdaq still struggling with this area. You want to see price breaking above this blue zone here. 5 minutes just showing us some barcode. And volume again just tapering down below average. So price is still just stepping lower. Stepping lower, stepping lower. See that structure there. Back into 25,500. Those double zero levels. ES is retesting session lows. And a fresh 15-minute bar just opened up. Prior bar was inside, prior 15-minute bar, inside bar. There we go. Another little push. So same idea I'm watching. Let's see if it actually materializes. Back in a volume point of control. Looking above. Uptick in volume right now. There we go. Good R vol. Pratik need a nice clean break above. Yeah, I agree. Ideally, like 610, 600, 610 area, and then a retest would be ideal if you ask me. At least for what I would like to see. The 15-minute is now through the prior bar high, which is first time that's happened all morning. So we're starting to see a little bit of a shift. Let's clean this chart up. And here's a little bit of just intraday kind of structural resistance right in the 600 area. Well, we talked about kind of the curl up idea, right? For the past 15 or 20 minutes is starting to become a bit more clear. Now the question is, do we see a better entry? Entry, yeah, yeah, yes, sir. As always, entry is a different story entirely. Yep. But so far, that idea is kind of developing nicely right now. So now we just need the retrace, the entry. Does it come? Does it not? Or does this thing just go vertical? What I do want to bring to your attention is notice the volume here that marks the low, right? That's why I love volume, why I'm always looking at volume, relative volume. Gives you some very, very good clues. And then on the candle that actually breaks the structure, look at the volume, big R vol. Gotta love it. So ES is trying to break above that sideways structure as well. And now it's pulling in. So we're just kind of starting to watch this volume point of control zone, 550 area. Even down into prior day low, 540. I mean, 10 points, basically rounding error and NQ. RTY sideways, YM sideways, and ES mirroring. Okay. All right. All right. I haven't looked at metals all week. Anyone still trading silver? Silver or gold? I was pretty sure I saw like Top Step completely removed it based on what I had been reading on Twitter. I think they like turned it off or something due to the volatility. GC not tradable because of the volatility or what? Or just the spreads that I know the spreads in silver absolutely insane. Oh, the range. Gotcha. 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 Coming into 11 a.m. 4 minutes till 11. Dave, 30% margin for GC. Holy moly. So let's see if price now can kind of break 620. Maybe test the 650 area back into that zone. 8 rises in margin in 8 weeks. Wow. Pratik took another scratch here at NQ, was a bit early, but got back in again. The idea we talked about panned out pretty nicely. Just down to some runners now. We'll see what we can do here. Started scaling in earlier in the structure. Once it starts to develop, add. And we'll see if we can catch more of a move. Just trying to position with that prior day low. 30 minutes about to close. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Oh, check that hourly. Check that hourly bar, D-Wall. Check that out. Hamski, is it hammer time? D-Wall, I copied your entry and exit points. Yeah, we've been trading together a long time, D-Wall. Not surprised. And here we come, 11 a.m. B-Link, small scalp on NQ. I'm not good at trailing. It's all good. Nice work with the scalp. And Q, just riding it. Hopefully 11 a.m. gives a little boost. D-Wall, looks like hammer time didn't work out. Sorry, but this is what I'm seeing. Hourly bar still hasn't closed. Got a few more seconds, D-Wall. And there it is. So 30-minute closes green. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can have price show a little follow through now above prior bar high, which is 631. D-Wall, just saw those executions. Nice work, man. That's 635. There's a wall there. That intraday structure point proving challenging. Volume's kind of tapering down as well, which is not helping things. See if we end up getting trailed. back into 600. D-Wall trailed and done. Nice work. I got my trail down at 580. I want to give this, I mean, it's just 2 micros here, so I want to give this ample room to continue to build out. We have kind of a decent intraday base that we're working with. It may need more time. We'll see. Ooh, to the tick right there. To the tick. Trailed it. Trailed it. Does that put us green on the day? Yeah, it puts us green on the day in the lead account. Okay. Not bad. Let's see. Is this updated? Yeah, there we go. So start the day red and move into green. Red to green. Red to green in the lead account. I still like this zone down here. Let's keep watching. Let's keep watching. How's the morning for everyone? How we doing? We are 90 minutes into the session. Whoops. What's the day looking like? Are we respecting our rules? Dave had to play golf after the copier meltdown. I hate that. I hate those tech issues, man. It's the worst. It's the worst feeling because trading is already challenging enough. So then when you have some issues with like technology or some software you're using, it's like God, dang it, dang it. Muggsy, little red, struggling on trails. It's all good, man. As long as it's not big red, little red, that's all right. We want to avoid the big red. Volume kind of tapering a little bit again. Back in a volume point of control. Still worth keeping an eye on this this section right there here. I mean, really the highlighted blue zone on the chart there, but volume point of controls right there, and then still your prior day low and weekly open right there at 530. Dave, try and trade Copia. I've had a pretty good experience with trade Copia. I did have one issue. I've only had one issue in about, I think I've been using it like 3 or 4 months now. So it's been solid. It does a much better job than Trade Sinker. I would not recommend Trade Sinker personally. King Caesar, yeah, trading on the phone, man, it's brutal. Would not recommend. It's usually not worth it. Can't react as quickly. It's very tough. Dave, you have ghost orders constantly with your current copier or what? Dom, drop the trade review off to the gym. Nice, man. Well done today. Have a great workout, sir. Trade exclusively on the phone and it works well for you. Wow. Wow. Props to you. Props to you. I could never. Also depends on, what time frames you're looking at, what time frames you're using. If you're using like, 5-minute time frame or above, trading on the phone probably is not going to be that bad. You have more time to react. All right, so price little retest there at PDL, just like we talked about. See if this ends up being more than a scalp, trailing already into basically BE just because of volume right here. Albert's pushing. If you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a thumbs up. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. We're almost at 10K. Trying to hit that 10K. 10K subscribers. I think we're like 20 away. And trailed. We'll take the light gain right there. We'll take it. Just adding to the day on the lead account here. Stacking it up. Brick by brick. Trade by trade. Pratik already did. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So, not a bad morning. We started the day with a loss. Never fun to start the day with the loss, but here's the thing. We're starting the day with the loss. The most important thing is just keeping your composure, making sure you're not getting any sort of anxiety to alleviate that feeling that comes with a losing trade, that pressure. Sometimes you'll have like a little pit in your stomach. Got to fight that. Not be acting on your emotions and just wait for the next A plus opportunity. A lot of the times traders start their morning with a red trade and it all unwinds from there. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Revenge trading, you know, a loss of discipline, adding size, like adding too much size because you started the day with a loss. Gotta keep your cool, gotta keep your composure, gotta hold it together, gotta focus on your process, respect your process. And I've been there before. I know what that's like. I was not immune from all that. I've lived all of that. What I used to do is if I started like this was very early in my options years, but if I started the day with a red trade, I would have to stop trading. I would have to shut down the day because my data told me, my stats told me that if I started the day with a red trade, it would never improve. It never got better. It only got worse. It's because I was not thinking about my process. I was not thinking about, my strategy or anything like that. I was just thinking about alleviating the red on the screen. I was thinking about alleviating that feeling, that uncomfortable feeling with the losing trade. And I started looking more deeply at that. It's like, man, every time I start the day with a red trade, it gets worse and worse and worse. And what you start to realize is that, oh, if I just stopped trading after that first red trade, how much more money would I have right now? And keep in mind that this was not with prop firms. We're talking about live cash account when you're trading options. And so I calculated it. I was like, how much more money would I have right now if I just stopped trading after the first red trade? And you calculate it and you end up looking at this huge number and you're like, oh my God. Like all I had to do was stop. And so that is how you kind of develop new rules and new processes to improve your game. But things like that you only pick up by actually looking at the data and having good records. All right, Nasdaq kind of slowing down a bit here. Just sideways within the structure. We kind of have like our structure, little late morning, mid morning range, 630, 630 by 475, with the midpoint obviously being right here. Point of control, prior day low area, volume tapering down, right? So I'm not super compelled to put on more exposure. Basically, I would want to that most recent scalp I took, I would want to see this entry show follow through. The fact that it did not was kind of my clue that I should stop messing around in this area until we get more information or some sort of trap or just some better, cleaner setup. So I think we'll call it right there. Red to green on the day. I think we'll shut it down. Here's all the stats. Not bad. There's a lead 50K account. Copy trading with Tradecopia, which has been solid. We'll keep it going in the Traders Think Tank. As always, see if we get some afternoon action, but that might be the day right there. That might just be it. Hope you guys had a good morning, and thank you all for your time as well. And we'll be live. We'll be live tomorrow morning. Adam, you want to be short? No, I don't. I don't want to be short, but thanks, man. All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.